Good morning, Alisal. Welcome to the Livestream PD for May 29, 2020. Can you believe it is the end of May already? Is it just another month that begins with M, right? Time has no more meaning. Days of the week. In any case, we wanted to welcome you to the live stream for May 29th. Welcome. Just a couple more weeks left, and then this school year will be over, and we get to start thinking about the next one. So, maybe some of you joined us last night, and by us, I mean the illustrious George Lopez and the amazing Ben Cogswell for our Parent Academy in Digital Citizenship. That was last night streamed live on the district Facebook page, but that was the English version. And we want to give a big shout out to all the folks here that you can see who made it possible. All these teachers learned a lot and then turned around and taught it to their community. It was really fun to watch. It was like this really well-produced, slick parent academy. It was so cool that it came from our district, and it's not over yet. So on Monday, June 1st, using that bit.ly/didcitalisal, capital D, capital C, capital A. You can also find it on the Alisal School District live stream on Facebook, the Facebook stream. But you don't need a Facebook. You shouldn't need a Facebook account to participate. Monday from 6 to 7 is the Spanish language version of the Academia de Ciudadanía. It's the hardest word in Spanish for me. For families will be the Spanish language version. And we're really looking forward to that, because as our skills have grown online and our kids' skills are growing online, our family skills needs to grow. Families' skills need to grow online as well. So if you could promote this with your kids and tell them to let their parents know. I believe in the EdTech Weekly, there have been images and such, and you can, if you would like images like these that you see on this slide to push out in Seesaw or Google Classroom, please email edtech@alisal.org, and we can share some of those graphics with you. Again, you can also find it on the district webpage and on the Alisal Facebook page. So, as we say every week, if you need help or support, edtech@alisal.org. Remember, George and Celia run those Google Meet office hours every weekly. We don't put the link up here because this gets put up live. Also wanted to say the fantastic Salinas Garcia of our department has discovered how to break the live streams up into chapters. So those are being posted to YouTube. They're still embedded in remoteinstruction.org, but when you click on it, you can go, it'll take you to YouTube, and you can click, it's broken up into chapters, so you don't have to sit through the whole 2-hour thing. So each time chunk is broken up, and you can just click directly to the portion of the 2 to 2.5 hour live stream that you are actually looking for. So thank you, Celia, for doing that. It's going to make it much more functional and easier to go back and look at when you need to review. And now, very short opening this morning. I think it's a speed record, 4 minutes for me. Guided reading in remote instruction with Ana Cordero and her special guest, America Lawson from Montevideo. So I'm going to stop presenting and go ahead and take it away, Ana and America. Go ahead and unmute, guys. And
okay. Very good. Thank you, Josh. I'm going to start presenting the screen. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to do the presentation in full image. And welcome. Welcome to guided reading in remote instruction. For everyone who do not know who I am, my name is Ana Cordero. and I am the TK second TOSA at Ed Services. We decided to do a PD about guided reading based on your request in the needs surveys that we recently completed. Thank you to all for taking this survey. You know that knowing what you need help us to provide with the support you need at this moment. In the survey, there were three major areas of request for PD. One was guided reading, the other one was writing, and the other one was online resources in Connect Ed. We are going to start with guided reading. And in this presentation, we are going to share the successes and the challenges when we were implementing guided reading in Miss Lawson class, a second grade class, with a group of students that were in an instructional level DRA of 28. So through the presentation, we will have several times to pause for questions or comments. So please, if you are implementing guided reading in your classroom and you would like to comment about what is being challenging or what is being successful, be free to share with us, because in that way we can learn from each other and improve our practices. I think we are going to take a break more or less around 10 or 10:10, depending when they give us the code to take a break. So let's start with that. Here, if you notice, we have a link. If you click in the links, they take you to the total plan for presenting, to preparing the lesson for guided reading. So we were a team of 3 people that we are going to introduce now. And we have those conversations first about how are we going to do it, what will be better for the students, what are the steps, and all these conversations are in this document. So if you have time, this document is going to be very illustrative of how we start the process to make this a successful instructional setting for our students. So let me go back to my presentation. So now let's meet the team. I'm very happy, I was very happy, but I'm very happy of working in collaboration with these dedicated and hardworking colleagues. Miss Lawson is a bilingual second grade teacher in Montebella, and Mr. Hernandez is the instructional coach also in Montebella. And we work together in collaboration, because if we don't work in collaboration, everything is going to be challenging. So working in collaboration will take any task to go from a challenging task to an enjoyable one. And we put all our strengths together, and all the members brought to the table what they knew. And it was a very enjoyable experience, and also for our students. So I can encourage my colleagues enough to work in collaboration, especially now more than ever. Okay. So this is our goal. Our goal for today is just to present ideas to implement guided reading in a remote instruction setting. And these are ideas. You might be doing guided reading and you do it differently, everything is okay. But if we can present some things that we have tried on and it has been successful, maybe you want to start adapting these ideas or tweak them in a way that works for you and your students. I would like just to take just a brief moment to think about the standards. Guided reading is one instructional practice that not only works in reading standards, the decoding and comprehension standards, it also includes standards for listening, speaking, and writing. So it's very important that we take into consideration instructional practices that integrate many of the essential standards in the few minutes that we have with interaction with our students. It doesn't matter if it's synchronously or asynchronously. We don't have so much time to interact with our students, so we need to look for practices in which we can incorporate or integrate as many standards, as many of those essential standards as possible. So just a brief note about that. So during the presentation, we incorporated some video clips. And this was because in the last PD that it was presented by our amazing math Tosa Kim, some of you requested video of the lessons that she was instructing on. So when we were doing our lessons, we recorded and we include here the video clips. We hope that this will help you and encourage you to try guided reading with your students. I included a table of comments, no comment, contents. So you can view the components that you are interested in without having to watch all the videos. But if you could like, I mean, they are too long. They are just 3 videos for 3 days that we were doing the lessons, and they are like 10 to 15 minutes. They aren't very long. And then you see how we set the purpose, how we remind the procedures of the students constantly, because if we don't remind the students for procedures, the lesson doesn't go so smoothly. We check participation. We have skill lessons. We introduce the text. We talk about the next steps for the following day, and we remind them of the guided reading procedures for the next day too. So we are going to have these 2 videos. We aren't going to watch it right now. Only when we talk about the steps, we will start in watching a little bit. So the simplest way to do guided reading is as simple as just having a session of Meet. You get all your students for that group, like in this case. I'm sorry, I didn't erase the names of the students. It's difficult to do it there. But you see that here we have a group of 4 students, and Miss Lawson and myself. Then if you need to project something or work something, let's say that we need to do the picture walk, or you need to do a mini lesson in a skill, it can be as simple as just using a document camera and just project it from there. Or as simple of getting chart paper or writing and project it with the document camera. So it doesn't have to be complicated to do guided reading in remote instruction. But for us, because we like challenge, no, for us, we decided to use some technological tools just because the engagement and the participation and the motivation that they bring to the students. So we use Connect Ed, the Maravillas tools online that they have with our program. And we will talk a little bit about this in the following slides. We use Jamboard. That is one of the tools that we are being introduced. We use CISO that the students are very familiar with, slides. And this is a new tool, Edpuzzle, that I would like to incorporate. Actually, I like this tool because it brings comprehension. The comprehension questions, we can do it on directly during the meet. But when I use this tool, it offers me the possibility of having a quick assessment of what they really learned in the lesson, and helps to define the next steps in my instruction. So we will see how we use that. If you like this tool and you wanted to incorporate it in your lessons, I'm here to help anytime. And the EdTech team is always there for us. So let's talk about the first step that we did. Okay, training. Training is so important. Training is important in the regular setting in our classrooms, but it's more than ever is very important in this setting of remote instruction. Because if the students know the procedures, they know the routines, they know where to get the materials, they know where to go, and it's nothing new, it's something that they are familiar with it, the lesson goes so smoothly. So we took plenty of time to train the students in the procedures. So the first step was to train the students in Connect Ed, how to go and to the tools in Connect, how to log in, go to Connect Ed and get the book. This didn't work very well, and I'm going to tell you why it didn't work very well. The fact that they have a bad internet or not so good connection with internet at home, it makes the students to be off and maravillas all the time. So because this didn't work for some of the students, not for all, for some of the students didn't work, we decided to do a plan B. And our plan B was just get the book, open the book in Connect Ed, just copy each page and put it in a slides. And we didn't have any problem with that. So if you want to have this book in slides, we include the links in here. You click, we have the book copy in slides for use. This works really well with our students. They didn't have trouble opening the slides. They didn't have trouble going from a slide to read. So the next step that we took, it was training the students in Jamboard. And that was fairly easy too. It's a tool that is not complicated to use and is very engaging. When we were doing some of the skill lessons, one student had a little bit of difficulty opening, but it didn't matter because we said, well, just don't worry, stay here with us in Meet and I can move the parts as you tell me. And you will see that in the video clips, how, because this student couldn't access in that moment to Jamboard, I will do the lesson with the student and he will direct me to move whatever they need to move. That worked really well, the Jamboard for skill lessons. And the third thing that we did, the third step, was to present Edpuzzle to them and tell them how to get. So for Edpuzzle, they don't need to have an account, and it's a free tool. So what we do is we create the video in Edpuzzle, and the video was a recording, and we will see this in the following slides. The video was a recording of the book, and then we post that video and include some comprehension questions, and they have to listen to the video, write the questions, write the answers to the questions, and then they submit it. And then you receive it and you can really see what the students know. Because when we did the comprehension questions in the group, not all of them participate and some of them are silent and you don't know if they are getting it. But with this, after we did orally the comprehension questions and we direct them to go to Edpuzzle and complete Edpuzzle, they were very successful. They didn't have any problem, and we could analyze what they really knew about the comprehension of the book. Here, what I include, I create a couple of Edpuzzle if you want to use, just for them to practice. So the first one, as you see, the first one that we created Ayudar a las Ballenas, and we assign it through Google Class. And then we create Cómo ser un comprador inteligente. And as they practice on this one, then you can do the real the real books for guided reading. When they practice, is good if they do it with something that is easy for them, because we are teaching them the procedure, not just a book that we are really reading with them in guided reading. That is, the book is a little bit challenging. So just to do some practice of the tools, just something fun, because it's just for them to learn where to go and how to complete the questions. So the last step was just teaching them the procedure for doing a guided reading lesson. So the first thing they need to know that they go to Meet, and during Meet we do the mini lesson. And in the mini lesson is done with Jamboard. Then they need to go to Google Classroom because all the materials were posted there under a topic, and we will see that. And then they need to do again Meet for the reading because we are going to be listening to them as they mute and unmute their microphones. All of them are reading the same book at their own pace. All of them are reading aloud, but they read with their microphone mute, and then when I call them, they read to me as they unmute their microphone. And then if we want for extension, we can just use CISO. They can reread the book that we work in for Fluency and send the recording. And also we did an extension with writing because reading and writing is interrelated. Is that reciprocity? So we did an extension in writing. We are going to see all the steps now. So let's take a minute to take a pause for questions. Do we have any questions?
Yes, we have one question for you so far. It says the question is, how do we access the document you prepared and mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast? It was called Guided Reading Plan with Ana Cordero.
Okay, so all this presentation that you are observing now is going to be shared in the remote instruction website as well as the recording. So you can review the recording again, and also you can get the whole presentation. You will have access to all the links that are there. And in the links, you will have the video clips, you will have all the documents, you will have the Jamboards that we prepare, you will have also the Edpuzzle that we prepare. Everything will be there.
Awesome. I think that was it for now, Anna.
Okay, very good. Let's continue. Good pacing then. So we started like we always start with guided reading. We start assessing the students because if we don't assess the students, we don't know the needs. So Miss Lawson assessed the students with this program is reading A through C. Her school and herself has access to this. This is not a free program. So I know that some of our colleagues in the district are using the A through C, so that's why I included there. But you don't have to have, you don't need to have a program to assess the students. It can be as simple as a piece of paper or any book that you believe that the students should be at that level using your professional judgment and your knowledge of your students, and just a piece of paper and just making some annotations. And you will see how I did a quick thing similar like that during the presentation. So now Ms. Lawson is going just to share a little bit with us about her experience doing this assessment. How complicated it was to do it online, how easy. So Ms. Lawson, are you ready to enlighten us with your experience?
Basically, I just set up appointments with the 4 kids, and I let them know to show up at a specific time, and I assessed them. I gave them the instructions to show up. I tested them, and I gave them the questions, and then I called up the next kid to come up, and then I did the test, and that was it. And that's how I put the kids to put them in their specific groups.
And you did it during Meet. You have just a regular Meet session.
And it was through the camera. I had to use the projector.
With a document camera, you use a document camera, and then you project this because you have access to this electronically.
Exactly.
Okay, so this is a basic running record, but we need also comprehension questions when we assess our students. So what we did is we create some questions, and Miss Veronica Hernandez create this for us, just a simple Google Doc, where she put the questions that are similar. We talk about what questions are similar in the DRA assessment, and we put questions similar like that in order to have a comprehension assessment too. So we did the decoding assessment to see decoding needs, and we did comprehension assessment to see comprehension needs, because reading includes both decoding and comprehension. So as I said, we don't need to have any kind of program to do a running record or to access a couple of comprehension questions. We can just have a book that we have in there that is at that level that we think that group is based in our knowledge of our students, and we just do a quick running record like this. So this is what as simple as that. So once we did the running records, we analyzed them and we see what were the commonalities of the students, what they need, this group. And after analyzing the running records for the students and the comprehension questions, we observed that this group need some work in multi-syllabic works. They need some work in the expression, because they were kind of reading all through and not stopping in the commas or in the periods. They did have some problems with author purpose and recognizing what is the purpose of informational text. So we decided to work in those areas in our guided reading. So these are the areas that we are going to work maybe for more than the 2 lessons or 3 lessons that we did have with them, because after doing a puzzle, we noticed that they need still have to work in text features and text author purpose and text type. They didn't have that clear. So after we know the level of the student, we know the needs, we need to choose a book that is appropriate for that, for them. And this is a very important step, because engagement and enjoyment equals progress. So if we choose a book that they like, they are going to be into it and they are going to be focused. There are many books that we can choose. We decided to use a book from Connect Ed, because everybody has access to that. So as we said, this book is from Unit 6. It's one of the level books. So it's the blue book. And it's more or less, no more or less, it's DRA 28, that it was the level that we think the students need to work, this particular group of the students. So the advantage of choosing these books from Connect Ed is that the DRA level is right there. So we don't have difficulty in assigning the books. We have other resources to assign books. Like I said, some of our colleagues in the district, they are using Reading A through C. And if you want to see what is Reading A through C, you can click in the link and it takes you there. But this is not a free website. This is, I don't know, it's not too expensive, but I mean, you want to buy that, it's up to you. Some schools have it, some teachers have it, but this is not a common resource that the district has for all the teachers. So it's just a choice. It's a choice for you. You want to use this. It's a great resource, if I have to say, because it has millions of books in different levels, and they have guided reading lessons that they come with each book. It's a wonderful program. I like it, but it's not free. Another thing that I like from this program is that it has the correlation of the levels. So if we want to see what DRA are their books, they are here. We want to see also if they have what Lexile is in here. It's a very good correlation chart that they have. Then there are other resources to select books online, electronic books. I found this resource, Bilingual KidSpot. If you click in here, it will take you to the resource. And in this site, it will give you different sites, like probably 6 or 7 different sites where you can find free ebooks. So one of the sites was this one, International Children Digital Library, and they have books in Spanish, because I was trying to look for something that they have Spanish and English, so everybody can have ebooks in order to use for guided reading. The issue with this particular site is that it doesn't have level chart. So I couldn't find what are the levels of these books. The only thing that I found in this site is, okay, well, if I don't have the level of the book, can I choose the book related to the age of my students and the language that I want? And you can do that. You can do that. You can choose. I want books for 5 years old. I want books for 6 years old, and you can do that. And then use your professional judgment. Open the book and see, okay, is this book something that I can use with this particular group? I think it's too challenging, or even though it says for 6 year old, I think it's too easy. Maybe I choose another one. So this is the only thing that I didn't like about this site, because I don't know the level of the books. I have to open the books and read them in order to know if that book is going to be good for my group. Then there is this other site in there, Oxford Owl. It has tons of books, electronic books, free. And this one has a correlation chart for level books, but it's not DRA. So looking at the books, I opened several books in this site. I figured out that probably for kindergarten level, you can choose any books that are for 4 and 5 in the levels 4 or 5. For first grade level, you can use books between 5 and 6. For second grade level, you can use books from 6 to 8, and so forth. I mean, you have other levels there. You can do this for more than kinder to second grade, but I just analyze a little bit the books that they have for kinder through second grade. But you can use these other levels that are higher for other grade levels. And then you can use Epic. I mean, Epic has tons of electronic books, and it's free, and you can go also by age. You have to use professional judgment, because I couldn't find any chart for what is the level of the books. So now, how we assign the materials during the guided reading lesson. That is very important, because we have this discussion as a team. Well, we need to provide the students with an easy way to get everything in one single document, because that is going to facilitate how easy the lesson is going to be. So we assign the materials through Google Classroom. And this is how we just did. We just post one. And in Google Classroom, we create a topic for guided reading. So here we have 4 different groups that Ms. Lawson had. So Ms. Veronica Hernandez suggested, why don't we have one topic for lectura guiada? And then after conversation, we decided it's better to do one topic for each group. So when we post the books or the board that lesson is going to be working, they don't have all the posting for 4 groups, and they can find it. So this worked really well. It was amazing. I mean, they just go to Classroom, they go to the topic in Brown University, that was our group, open that, and when they open the topic, they find this. This is what we assign, and we assign everything in one document, or everything in one board. This is the board. Okay, so you have access to this. You can duplicate this. So thank you, Miss Veronica Hernandez, because you are so resourceful. I mean, I was saying, how can we put it in a document? What can we do that is easy for them? We have to number it. We have to do in order that we are going to do it through the lesson, so it's easy for the students. And she said, why don't we put some folders in there? Okay, so she created this that is wonderful with the pictures and everything. And then what we did is link everything they need here. So this is what we share with the students through Google Classroom. So we tell them, go to Classroom, go to classwork, get into your topic, and click on the board. If you click in here, it takes you to the actual slide presentation. So you can copy this, and if you like it, you can use this, or you can manipulate it in any way. So please just make a copy, because I think I gave you access to everybody can view, but sometimes I forget, and maybe you have access to edit. So make a copy and you can use that in any way you would like. So let's check a little bit how the lesson went. The first step, we told them, okay, go to number 1, the folder number 1, and click in there, and it's going to take you to the Jamboard presentation. So Jamboard was used for doing skill lessons in decoding and a skill lesson in comprehension, as you see. So let's do that so you see it. I go over here, I click in my first folder, and that is what the students do. And it opens the Jamboard. So you can use this too. Please make a copy, because this belongs to Miss Lawson right now. So if she wants to change it, she will change it. So as you see, we did the lesson, and you are going to see a quick video clip now. We see the lesson. We do the lesson. They did it with me, and then we did it together. And this was in palabras polisílabas, multisyllabic words. And then each of them did one. And this was all the comprehension lesson. We create the lesson here. We did it together. They did this by themselves. So that is how we use Jamboard. So now we are going to watch this video clip, and after this we will take a little bit of a break, or any questions that you may have. And as I said, you can go and watch these video clips anytime. I'm going only to play the skill lesson a little bit to see.
Anna, if you have your headphones on, we're not going to be able to hear the sound from the video.
Oh, sorry. Let me do that. So I need to have the sound from the video. Let me get that. Okay. The sound should be up all the way.
Right, but right now, that's why I was saying if you have headphones on.
Your headset.
Oh, okay. Oh, the head. Oh, sorry for that. Let me take the headphones. Yeah, yeah.
In your mic.
You're muted now, Anna.
You're muted, Anna. Yeah. You're on mute, Anna.
Anna, you're muted, so we're not hearing any of the video. If you want to just play the video directly, drop out of presentation, and then when you go into presentation, present just the tab, and then the audio won't go through, it'll go directly. But you can't mute and you can't have your headphones in the way you're doing it right now. You would need to unmute and unplug them from the computer.
Okay, and I mute first. Then I'm going to go to the presentation. Sorry for that, guys.
It's okay. It happens.
Okay, let's see if now it's going to work. Sí. Ok, pues ahí se van a quedar y lo van a hacer conmigo. ¿Pueden escuchar?
Perfect.
Ok, entonces hoy vamos a trabajar en esas palabras polisílabas, ¿ok? Entonces esta es la primera que voy a hacer yo. Yo voy a hacer esta. Esta palabra aparece en el texto. Es una palabra de muchas sílabas, por eso las leemos despacito y la leo. De, ro, char, lo. Y luego la leo toda junta. Derrocharlo. Y derrocharlo es cuando utilizamos mucho de algo, cuando gastamos algo. Podemos derrochar el dinero o podemos derrochar el agua. Entonces esa palabra va a aparecer ahí. ¿Okay? Entonces ahora vamos a hacer la siguiente. Okay, and you see more or less, you see what is the process. If you want to observe the whole video, you can observe the whole video. So let's take a little bit of a break right now because I believe it's 10:12. Do we have any questions that we can take?
We do actually.
Okay.
Anna, can you let us know how long the lesson took you to prep?
To prep
And how much time it went to go up through it?
To prep the lesson, it took time because that is why we have 3 people, and that is why I said we need to collaborate. Because I was doing that. Miss Hernandez was doing the board at the same time that I was doing the screencastify for the Edpuzzle and the Jamboard. The Jamboard was very easy. I'm going to say that the Jamboard took me probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes the most to do the Jamboard because it's such an easy tool to do. What took me a little bit longer, it was the Edpuzzle because it was a tool that wasn't familiar with, and I have to first I record the book in Screencastify, then I import the book in Edpuzzle, and then I have to create the questions. That took me a little bit longer, but I'm going to say that once I did one, it wasn't so difficult. I think like maybe 10 minutes. I know it takes time to prepare, but once you have these lessons prepared, other people can use them if they are in the same level. So if we work with teams, as a teams, we can share lessons. And if we work in the grade level, one person can do one part and the other person can do the other. Now, the actual lesson with the students, everything takes double the time when you do it in remote instruction, double at least, sometimes a little bit more. This lesson that in a regular setting I will have done probably in 15 minutes, 20 minutes with the students, it took us from 30 minutes sessions, 30 minutes to 35-minute sessions. Why? Because it's constantly checking if they are with us. Constantly solving problems. If okay, you can get it, okay, go here, okay, start again, you know, you have to go here, follow the steps. So we are in the training process of the students, so it takes longer. Once the students are trained, in the second lesson was easier because they knew already, even though we trained them before, but as we do it more times, they get easier. But yes,
This takes longer than in the regular classroom, and it takes time to prepare. If you want the lessons to go smoothly, the more time that we put in preparing and thoughtful planning, the better for the lesson. And this needs to be done in a team. Okay, any other question?
Yes, there was a question about Edpuzzle. Can you make your own videos on Edpuzzle, or do they have to be YouTube videos?
No, you create. I use only one simple video that they have in there because I wanted to teach them the procedure, but my focus is just to use this tool for reading comprehension. So my video was just reading the book in a Scriptcastify. That's it. And it was like probably 5 minutes, less than that. And then I import the video. It's not difficult to use. It needs to be, you need to be familiar because, figuring out is learning a new tool takes time, but it's not a difficult tool to use for you to create the videos. And for the students, it's so simple. They just click and they just answer the questions because they don't need to have accounts. We push all the materials through Google Classroom. Any other questions?
Thank you. I think there was one more. So this question is asking for maybe your recommendation. They're asking, do you think that we can use the recording tool, which I think might be Screencastify, to do the assessment? So maybe provide the students with a reading sample and then assess through their recording instead of the way that you described, which is in a Meet.
Yeah, anyway. Any way that you think that is going to work for you, as long as you are sure that the students are doing the actual reading and no one is helping them and no one is around, because we want to have a real assessment. And we have to educate a little bit our parents sometimes, because they want, in their effort of being helpful and in their effort of being there for their children, they try to help them, and we have to tell them this is an assessment and I need to know really what the students know. But yeah, anyway, you want the thing is, we need to assess the students. That is an important part of preparing a good lesson.
Thank you. I think for right now, that was probably it for the questions. And so we'll probably get to that break that you mentioned. And so we'll
trying to put one time there.
George has one set up. So I think he just shared his screen for 10 minutes.
Please do that. Thank you very much. I'm going to stop presenting and you can share your screen.
All righty, Anna, whenever you're ready, share your screen.
Okay. We are back. Okay, so let's recapitulate a little bit what we have done till now. So first, we talk about how important is to train the students in the procedures and to train the students in the tools that they are going to be used in order to have a smooth lesson. We talk about the assessment, because we need to have assessment in order to do our lessons really geared to what our students need. We talk about what kind of resources we can use for guided reading. We talk about the books that Connect Ed has under the level books. We talk about EPIC has also level books, a couple of websites that they have electronic books in Spanish and in English. And we talk about A through C that some schools are using or some teachers are using. And then we prepare the materials in only one place for the students to access, in a board. When we present in the board to the students, we obviously train them how to go to the materials through Google Classroom. We create the topics for each particular group in Google Classroom, so they don't have too many materials there and they get confused. And right now we are in the steps of the lesson. So step 1 and step 2 were done during the first day. During the first day, we do the skill lesson for decoding and the text introduction, that was the picture walk and the prediction. So we just did the skill lesson. We observed the skill lesson that was in multisyllabic words. And we follow the procedure of I do, we do, you do, to give them the opportunity to everybody to practice. At the same time, the words that has been chosen to do this skill lesson in multisyllabic, those words were from the book, because the most more things that we do that are in a real authentic setting, the better they take into application. Because if I have chosen words that aren't in the book, multisyllabic words, then we don't see the application. So that doesn't go in deep learning for the students. So if you notice, all the words that I have chosen in here, they were from multisyllabic words, but from the reading. The same thing happened with the skill, the comprehension skill. If I'm working in text structure or text features, I'm going to use the page that they are going to read or the book that they are going to read, because in that way, all the learning that we did in the mini lesson is being taken into application right away. All the learning that we did in the multisyllabic words is going to be taken into application right away. And that it takes the students to deep learning. Okay. So we watched the video for the decoding lesson. Now we are going to observe the step 2. In the step 2, we present, particularly I present the pictures through Google Slide, because I don't have a document camera. But if you have a document camera, you just can do it in the document camera. So here is the presentation with the pictures. If you want to use it, they are. If you notice, I put under each picture in the notes the words that I need to plant in their mind, because sometimes in the text the text is going to have some words that the students aren't familiar with them. So that is going to hinder the comprehension. So when we talk about the picture, I try to bring the words plan and derrochar there for this picture. Or in this picture, I try to bring the words presupuesto, refrigerios, asignación. Those words are not common words in the vocabulary of our students, and they were in the reading. So what I'm doing, I'm just preparing the students to be successful in the reading when I'm planting those words and I'm talking about those words during my picture work. walk. And that is a scaffolding for them. And all our students need a scaffolding because all our students have needs in building academic language. So this is a good practice and that will gel more comprehension in our students. In this one, periódico, we don't know if they know the word periódico. And verificar, probably not. So when we do guided reading, we always read the book ahead of time. We just pick up, we don't pick a book and say, okay, here we go, let's read this. No, we have to read the book ahead of time because in that way we can pre-plan our lesson to bring all that language that the students need to comprehend the text. In this one, comparar los precios. I don't know if they will know that. So you have access to this too. So if we go back. Now, let's do a little bit of the clip.
Anna, do you want to go into present mode?
I'm not in present mode?
On slides.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yes, thank you. I'm very happy that I have the team in there for me when I don't realize these things. Okay, 7, 8. Give me just a second to advance it. As I said, you have all the lessons in these video clips, but what I'm playing are parts of the lessons, but I will really encourage you to watch the whole lesson because it's going to give you ideas. Y ahora vamos a pasar a ver los dibujos o las ilustraciones que hay en el texto. ¿Okay? Muy bien. Entonces, lo primero que tenemos en el texto es esta imagen. ¿Ven ustedes la imagen esta? ¿La portada? Entonces, ¿qué es lo que ven aquí? A ver, Aarón, dime, ¿qué es lo que ves ahí?
Lo que yo miro es un libro que dice cómo ser un comprador inteligente.
Ajá, y entonces pensando en el título y pensando en ese dibujo, esa ilustración, que en este caso es una fotografía, ¿de qué piensas que va a ser el libro?
Yo pienso que el libro se va a tratar de cómo ser un comprador inteligente porque el título dice cómo ser un comprador inteligente.
Me encanta cómo te has expresado con oraciones completas. Yo pienso que el libro y me has dado una razón. Muy bien. Ok, entonces este libro se titula Cómo ser un comprador inteligente y el autor es Jonathan Chen. Okay, vamos a ver otra ilustración, otra fotografía. Ok, ahora le toca a Alexi. Alexi, ¿qué es lo que ves tú aquí en esta fotografía? ¿Qué ves aquí? ¿Qué es lo que ves?
Yo veo una señora comprando algo con un niño.
Uh-huh. Y mira aquí abajito, mira aquí abajito, aquí ves ahí abajo que hay como una oración, eso se llama el pie de foto. ¿Qué nos dice el pie de foto?
Un comprador inteligente siempre tiene un plan.
Ajá, tiene un plan, ajá. Muy bien. Vamos a ver otra. Ahora le toca a Gustavo. Gustavo, ¿qué es lo que ves en esta ilustración, en esta fotografía?
Miro dinero y
dinero.
Y también miro una persona una persona que hizo
¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué dice el pie de foto que te puede ayudar para saber qué es esto?
La suma se usa para hacer un presupuesto
Ahí está la palabra que va a estar en el libro, ¿verdad? El presupuesto. ¿Y te acuerdas qué es el presupuesto? Tenemos que saber el dinero que tenemos y los gastos que vamos a hacer. ¿Por otra? Ahora le toca a Diego. Diego, ¿qué es lo que ves aquí? Esta imagen.
Miro un papá leyéndole a
¿Qué es lo que está leyendo?
un papel.
¿Y cómo se llama este papel? Tiene un nombre determinado. ¿Cómo se llama este? Mira en el pie de foto a ver si te ayuda.
Los anuncios del periódico
Okay.
dicen
Otra vez esa palabra. ¿Qué hacemos cuando tenemos una palabra que tiene muchas sílabas? ¿Qué hacemos? ¿La junta?
Periódico.
Muy bien. Están leyendo el periódico, ¿verdad? ¿Y por qué crees que está mirando? Okay. So what we saw is how I use the picture work to plant vocabulary that they need. At the same time, I'm going to bring also our focus. Our focus was multisyllabic works, and I know they have trouble reading multisyllabic works. We saw it there when they did try to read the word periodico. So always bringing back the students to our focus and reinforcing what it was our lesson about. So now is the third step. And in the third step is the reading of the book. The students try to go, as we said, to the Connect Ed. We have the book linked to Connect Ed, but they have a little bit of difficulty getting it, and we don't understand why. Probably the internet wasn't very strong. So we create in the book in slides, as you see in here, so they can read it in slides. This was a very good choice because no one had problem opening the slides and reading in slides. So that.
Can I interrupt really quickly because there was a question related to that?
Oh, good.
Someone is wondering if those slides that you're using, they don't come from Wonders and Connect Ed, correct?
No, they don't come from them. We just create it. We just open the book. We go to the Connect Ed, open the book, and then we just do copy the pictures. It's just save command 4.
Did you use screenshots?
Yeah, and then put it in slides, and it's very quick. It's just as quick as click and move it to slide, click and move it to slide, and that's it. It's very, very fast to do that.
Thank you.
Probably 3 minutes, but you create that. But that works so well because none of the students have problem reading or accessing.
If I can do it, anyone can do it.
Thank you. You are going to give us your
input.
Anytime. I mean, anytime. Give us your input because it was your students. You know your students. You know the process.
My students had a hard time connecting to Connect Ed because the internet was really difficult for them. So the easiest way for them to connect was through slides, and so that was the hardest part for my kids, was doing it through Connect Ed, and slides was the best choice.
Okay. So if you click in here, it will take you to a slide, and the book is in there, as you see. So let's watch a little bit of a video clip during the skill lesson. This was day 2. So we did the skill lesson for comprehension, and we did the actual guided reading. So we are going to take a little bit of time to see the skill lesson and the guided reading. I'm not very good just controlling this. There we go. Otra palabra era artículos. Artículos son cosas en general. Y hoy Y hoy lo que vamos a prestar atención cuando leemos, vamos a prestar atención en las características del texto. Las características del texto, porque es un texto informativo, tiene título, tiene foto, tiene gráficas, tiene subtítulos, tiene tabla de contenidos. Todo esto son características del texto. Tiene foto y estas características nos van a ayudar a entender mejor la información que el autor nos dice en el texto. ¿Sí? Entonces ahora vamos a hacer un trabajito juntos. A ver, en esta página es la primera que va a haber en el libro que van a leer. ¿Y esta página cómo se llama? A ver, Alexis, ¿cómo se llama esta página?
Tabla de contenido.
Uy, aquí hay un error. Voy a cambiar eso. Porque al escribirlo puse tabla de contenido. Es tabla de contenido. Ok, ya le cambié. La tabla de contenido, ¿verdad? Y en la tabla de contenido tenemos el título y tenemos el autor y tenemos los capítulos y las páginas y tenemos también un índice, un glosario que en este caso está al final y tenemos también una extensión que es un enfoque. Muy bien, todo eso aparece en la tabla de contenido, que es una característica del texto informativo. Ok, ahora dime, Alexis.
Pues ayúdame.
¿Qué es lo que ves aquí? ¿Qué características de texto expositivo o informativo ves en esto? Alexi, tienes que poner tu micrófono. Ajá. ¿Qué ves? Dime una característica que ves ahí.
Palabras destacadas, negría.
Oh, me encanta cómo has leído esa palabra que es polisílaba, despacito, destacadas. Ahora léela todas juntas, otra vez.
Destacadas.
Muy bien, palabras destacadas en negrilla, ¿verdad? Y miren dónde están las palabras destacadas en negrilla. Aquí están las palabras destacadas en negrilla. ¿La ven ahí? ¿Ven ahí? Esta es una palabra destacada en negrilla. Esta es otra palabra destacada en negrilla, esta de aquí. Esto es una característica del texto expositivo. Muy bien, Aaron. A ver, Diego, dime otra característica de texto.
Okay. Entonces ya vemos, we see how in the presentation of the comprehension skill goes. We use Jamboard and we prepare the text. The picture was from the text, so they can apply it. So let's go back to the presentation.
Expositivo o informativo, lo que ves ahí.
So it's very important that after we do, we listen to the students read. Oh, we didn't listen to the students read. I'm sorry, let me go back. I was going to do now this one. So now we are going to hear how to listen to the students as they read and take annotations. This is the actual guided reading.
Alexi, ¿en qué página estás?
Diego, quiero ver tu carita, mijo.
En la 2.
Ok, entonces vamos a leer juntos ahora en la página 2. ¿Empieza a leer arriba? ¿Empieza a leer arriba?
El comprador inteligente sabe que el dinero es importante. Lo usamos para comprar todo lo que necesitamos o queremos. La gente trabaja duro para ganar dinero. No quiere derrochario.
Ok, otra vez la palabra. Recuerda que cuando tenemos unas palabras que tienen muchas sílabas, las leemos despacito. Otra vez esa palabra.
Derrocharlo.
Muy bien, ahora toda junta.
Derrocharlo Por eso es importante ser un comprador inteligente. A continuación, le damos algunos consejos sobre cómo ser un comprador inteligente.
Ok, muy bien, continúa leyendo. Gustavo, ¿dónde estás? ¿En qué página estás?
Página 2.
En la página 2, ¿estás al principio? Empieza a leer en la página 2. Al principio de todo.
Capítulo 1. Primeros pasos. El comprador
Ok, acuérdate que cuando tenemos una palabra que tiene muchas sílabas, vamos a leerla despacito. La podemos partir en dos, como esa. La podemos partir hasta aquí y luego leer la segunda parte. O la podemos leer sílaba por sílaba. Ok, inténtalo despacito.
Inteligente.
Muy bien, me gusta cómo la has partido un poquito inte y luego ligente. Puedes hacer eso, inte, ligente, y luego la dices toda junta, dila toda junta.
Inteligente.
Muy bien, continúa.
Sabe que el dinero es importante. Lo usamos para comprar todo lo que necesitamos o queremos. La gente trabaja duro para ganar dinero.
Me gusta cómo te corregiste. Hay que mirar despacito. ¿Sigue?
No quiere derrocharlo, por eso es importante ser un comprador inteligente. A continuación, te damos algunos consejos sobre cómo ser un comprador
Otra vez esa palabra última.
Inteligente.
Me gusta cómo leíste esa. Ok, pon tu micrófono en silencio y sigue leyendo. Diego, ¿en qué página estás?
Página 5.
En la página 5, ok, muy bien. Ok, lee al principio de la página 5.
Otra manera de comparar precios es usar Internet. El artículo que quieres podría costar menos si lo compras por Internet. Un comprador inteligente siempre hace valer su dinero.
Okay. And we saw the procedure of doing the guided reading. Actually, all the students are reading the book at the same time. All of them have the microphone in mute. And as I listen to the students, I'm taking annotations of what are the difficulties that they are having. And when I finish listening to a student, I just call the following student and tell them unmute they know that when they hear their name, they need to unmute their microphone and tell me where they are reading. So I can listen to them reading in the page that they have. Okay. So let's go back to the presentation. Muy bien, continúa. Wait. Let's put the presentation. So when we are listening to them, we are taking annotations. And here are some annotations. We don't need to have any form or anything complicated. It could be just in a paper. So in this group, in this particular group, I wrote the name of the group, Brown University. I wrote the date. I wrote the book that is nonfiction, because this is going to help me to know how many books I read with them in nonfiction and fiction, and we need to read both of them. And then the level of the book. And the checks on the sites is because I wanted them to interact with the comprehension, and I was checking as many times as they were interacting or answering questions, so I can analyze also, are they participating? And my notes, as you see here, if they are breaking it in two, in syllables, if they are repeating the questions, if they are self-correcting themselves. So all those are important annotations that is going to tell me how strong are the students in decoding. So now we are going to listen a little bit of how we give feedback to the students, and we give feedback in both, in the skill lesson, also in the comprehension. So after they read, we are going to see how the feedback needs to be very specific. It's not something like, good job, you read well. That is not going to help the students to grow. The feedback always needs to be specific.
Gustavo, pon el micrófono porque vamos a hablar todos. Si uno quiere hablar, ¿se acuerdan que tenemos el procedimiento de levantar la mano con ese muñequito que hay arriba? Aprietan el muñequito y levanta la mano y entonces tomamos turnos para hablar. Ok, pues lo primero que les quiero decir es que han hecho un trabajo maravilloso. Me encantó trabajar con ustedes. Han estado muy enfocados siempre que hemos hecho la lección, y eso es muy positivo porque van a aprender mucho si se enfocan cuando estamos dando las lecciones. Y luego leyeron muy bien, y cuando leyeron, todos hicieron intentaron leer las palabras polisílabas, como habíamos enseñado. Nos encontramos, algunos tuvieron algún problemita. Por ejemplo, Alexi, ¿tú tuviste algún problemita en la palabra importante porque era una palabra polisílaba? Y tuviste un problemita en la palabra derrocharlo. Pero no importa porque te las leíste despacito, sílaba por sílaba, y luego las leíste todas juntas, que era la estrategia que estábamos aprendiendo para decodificar bien las palabras, y tuviste éxito en leer todo. Me encantó eso. Gustavo, tú tuviste problemas en la palabra inteligente, ¿verdad? ¿Te acuerdas que te costaba un poquito la palabra inteligente? Oh, ya está Diego. Muy bien, buenos días, Diego. Entonces, Gustavo, tuviste problemas en la palabra inteligente, pero la leíste sílaba por sílaba. También tuviste un poquito de problema en la palabra comprar, igual porque tiene una R.
Okay. So, we see the procedure, we are giving a specific feedback. And then if you want to watch the video, and you can watch also the comprehension feedback, how to give comprehension, the next steps, is important to tell students after we finish a task, what are our next steps. So we are preparing them for next day, the learning of next day, or we are preparing for the next activity. Okay. So now is the comprehension. Step 4 was asking questions about the comprehension. And in the comprehension, we did in the questions orally first. But as I said, when we are doing the comprehensions in a group, and the comprehension questions in a group, some students participate, other students are silent. Some students kind of hear the answers of each other, and we don't know really what they know, what they got. Did they really learn our objective? So that is why I have chosen Edpuzzle. So in Edpuzzle, what we did after having the lesson orally during Meet, the comprehension questions orally during Meet, I create a simple video and a screencastify when I read the book aloud, and then I create some questions along the book, and they have to answer the questions. These questions were all related to our focus, that it was author purpose and text characteristics and text features and the type of text. So for the sake of time, because we are getting towards 11 and I don't want to take too much time, if you want to hear the comprehension questions, you just watch this video. I put the times where you can see all that. And if you want to hear the instructions for checking for understanding through Edpuzzle, you can go also here. So this is why I really like Edpuzzle. As they were completing the work, I can check what they are doing. So I saw that Aaron was completing 60%. I saw that Gustavo was completing 30%. I see that they are engaged. So this tool tells me that when I send them to do the work, I know that they are doing the actual work. It's not that they are looking only at the screen and they aren't doing anything. And if we notice that they aren't doing the work, we just redirect them. Hey, I don't see you completing the work. And we saw this to the students. We saw them, as you do the work, I can see what you are doing to refocus them. And this is what I really love about the Edpuzzle. So I put the questions there and then they tell me how many questions they complete. I have to actually correct them. Okay, they do the questions and I receive them. Then I correct the questions and I see that out of the 6 questions that we have here, they have 3. This student, Gustavo, have 3 correct and missed 3. And then I can analyze what type of questions he missed. So it's going to help me to set my goals and my instructional focus for the next lessons. So Gustavo missed author purpose, text features, and text type. Alexi mixed facts, only gave me 1 fact about the informational text, and also text features and text type. So I have 2 students already that they aren't clear about the text features, what is the purpose of the text features, how they help us to understand what the information that the author is giving us. And they didn't know what type of text type was this. And Aaron was pretty strong, only 5, you see 5 correct out of 6, but still, it wasn't clear what type of text was this. And Diego too, the same one. So not only I can do that analysis and see what are the areas that they didn't get, when they do the answers, I can analyze the writing. ¿Por qué es importante ser un comprador inteligente? Porque quieres que comprar para comer. Okay, I see that here there is a problem with a structure of the sentence. That the student is not strong in building a correct, a grammatically correct sentence. If I look at this student, I know that this student has problems with the spelling. At the same time, this is a phrase. It's not even speaking in a complete or writing in a complete sentence. I need to work on that. If I look at this student, it tells me that, and observing, I was having this conversation with Ms. Lawson, this student is stronger in this group. This student belongs to a different group. El autor quiere que aprendamos de cómo ser un comprador inteligente. Well, he not only understood the learning, he also, his language is stronger, his expression is stronger, he can write better, he can read better, he belongs to a different group. Now, with this question, we discuss also that is too perfect. So this question is too perfect. When we have answers that are too perfect, then we question, did the student do it by himself, or the mother or the father was behind him, just hinting him? And when those things happen, as I said, they do it in their best knowledge, just to try to support you and to support the students. But we will have to let them know that we need to have the students doing the work, because if not, we don't know which one is going to be our next steps in our instruction. So based on that, I know that our next lessons are going to be text features, text types, some more facts in informational text, and working in sentence structure. Speaking in full sentences as well as writing in full sentences, and speaking and writing with more elaborated sentences. For this group, this is my focus for the next lessons. And as always, reading and writing are processes that are reciprocal. So as a writing extension, we prepare a prompt for writing, and we explain to students what to do. We give them a little bit of support, writing some sentence starters here. And in their own time, not while they are with us in Meet, they need to take what they have learned in the reading into writing. And this is something that we need to incorporate more and more in our guided reading lessons, because the students learn when they apply the learning. And the application in writing is very valuable. So as they write, as they finish the writing, they take a picture of the writing and they send it through CISO. We don't have more samples because that was done on Thursday, and I have to check how was the writing, and then analyzing the writing will be the next lessons too, because all the analysis of the writing can be taken also in mini lessons during guided reading. And now we are going to finish with Ms. Lawson, just giving us a little bit of some insights in how was her experience through all this process. So Ms. Lawson, will you be so kind to tell us how was your experience implementing guided reading in remote instruction?
My experience implementing guided reading was exciting and stressful at the same time. The reason I say that is, you know, I'm new to technology, especially coming back from teaching Read 180 and the kids having internet problems. So it was a little stressful, and then the situation that we're in. But I must say that I learned a lot. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. So you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Miss Lawson, you are a pro. You can do it. We can do it.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that if I can do it, anyone can do it. So I'm enjoying it now that I know what I'm doing. And my kids are benefiting from it now. And I can provide more guidance to them. And I can see that there's a lot more distraction, that I have little small groups than having the whole. I tried doing it whole class and putting them in little groups. That was very difficult. Yeah. So I think my next steps will be to continue doing it, but instead of doing one group a day, is try to do 2 different groups so that I can target more kids, you know, reach more kids that way.
Okay, thank you very much. Like I said, it was a pleasure working with you and your students and with your coach, Ms. Veronica Hernandez. I really enjoy learning with you and learning from you too. For me, it's really always enjoyable to work with the students. And
Thank you for all your help, Ana. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all your hard work. I learned so much.
Thank you. So with that, we are going to take some questions. If we have questions.
This is George, Ana. There's no additional questions, just some kudos to you for a job well done and for being very thorough. So just, you know, we look forward to seeing your slides so we can go ahead and share them with everybody. But there is no additional questions that have come in. So thank you. Okay.
Well, then, thank you very much. I really, I'm here for you guys, anything you need. And as I included in this last slide, the emails of the team, just if you have questions or comments or anything, reach any of us, because all the 3 of us were working with the students, and all of us are willing to support or answer questions or anything that we have. Thank you very much. I have a wonderful day. I will share these slides right now so they can be on the remote instruction website. Thank you. Back to you, George.
Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate all your attention and your hard work. I know you probably have stuff to do with your school site, your grade level teams, looking at some student work today. You're all so busy all the time. We just wanted to say thank you very much for tuning into the live stream. As Anna said, her materials will be posted to remoteinstruction.org later, as well as the opening slides and the video once it gets processed through the new cool Celia YouTube chapter processing, so that it can be broken up and you can jump to each part. It's really a cool new feature, and I think it's been already done on some of it if you go back to the first few days. So in any case, everyone have a great weekend, and thank you for joining us and tuning in, and we will see you again next week. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and be good to our kids. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.